Wow, doesn't this just look cool? Hello my friends, how are you doing? Here's another video about Krea because they have added real-time Loras where you can train yourself or objects or styles. Let me show you how that works. So we are heading over here to the Krea page. Up here you have the training button and then you want to upload a bunch of images, 3 or more. A little bit more is probably better, so just click here on the upload button. So I took some pictures of myself with my smartphone. An advice I want to give you here is to have the images with a good contrast and good color, so maybe edit them a little bit afterwards. And now that we are in this window where you can also see a preview of the images you have uploaded, there is one very important thing you need to do, and that is down here you need to switch to real time, because if you only have the Flux Lora you cannot use it in the real time mode. So it's a little bit like a vice versa. In the image generation mode you need the Flux Lora, in the real time generation you need the real time Lora. So this is specifically for real time. You can give here a little bit of a description and then click on train. You can also just write the name in here and that should also work just fine. After your model has been generated, you will see it down here in the styles area. So they call Lora styles, and below that, if it is a real-time Lora, you have a button here that says use with real time. Click that and it will be loaded in real time. But I also want to show you another way how to find your Loras or styles in real time. So for that we are heading over into generate and then real time, and here on the right side you see browse styles gallery. When you click on that you see here my styles. When you click on that you can select from the styles that you have trained so far to use them. Now one super important part here is for these styles to work you need to use them with the Flux model, otherwise they're not going to be working, and when real time is loaded in it's not in the Flux mode. So you need to go down here and you see here select Flux real time, because usually it's an HD and HD is a different model that does not work with these Loras, and so you can see it does not look like me. Now here you can do two things. Either you can generate images that have the same characteristics, and you can of course also change the clothing, or you can generate a 3D model from that 2D image. They also added a function where you can upload 3D models, but I think it needs a little bit more work because it didn't really work good enough for me to show it here in this video. Now, there is a difference between the images and the 3D models generated from the images, and I want to show you what that is. So here we have an image, and this is actually an image I have generated up here with image generation, because I feel there you get a little bit more detail. It's a bit more sophisticated to generate that, and usually if I have a character or anything like that I say with a gray background, so it's easier to remove the background. To remove the background you load the image and then simply right click and say remove background, and that's it. And then you can simply move it around, and you can see with the real-time generation this will just adjust the scene. You can also of course zoom in here like that, and there you can see we have an image of me standing at that tropical beach. Pretty amazing. But of course if you have a normal image, the downside is you can't really rotate that character. So right click and convert to 3D. Takes a little bit, maybe 20-30 seconds, something like that, and then it should generate a 3D model for you, and this is the model. Now look at me as the character here. Let's position me like that, and I'm looking to the left, right? Now I can rotate myself, and you can see it updates and rotates my character accordingly. Now one thing you can also see here is that on the one side of the 3D model the face is bright and on the other side it's dark. So you might think you want to use the dark side on both directions. So how can you do that? There's actually a little trick for that. Right click here and say flip horizontal. This will flip it. Now the rotation is also flipped, so when you want to rotate it to the right you actually have to move your mouse to the left, so it's going a little bit into the other direction. But as you can see, I now have the dark side here on this side, so I can have my character look to the beach. I can also make him a lot bigger so that we have a bigger character in my scene. And as you can see, it looks really good. It looks really like me. I can very much adjust here what kind of degree I want the character to be in. And this is amazing for compositions. It gives you really nice results here. The resolution isn't super high because this is a real-time flux, but it still looks very nice. So that is pretty cool. And then of course afterwards you can also do upscaling. One thing I want to tell you to avoid, at least for the moment, is to click here on quick enhance, because this will generate more detail, but it will use the other model, so it will not look like you. And here we have another scene, and wow, doesn't this just look cool? Me as a Viking in the forest. And by the way, I want to show you a little other trick. If the light here, the ambient light, is not 100% like you want it, you can actually pick a shape from over here, put it over the character, and then up here you can adjust the color. This is one of the features I wanted to have, and they changed it actually for me, which is pretty amazing. You can change the transparency, and so we have a bit of ambient light on top of that, and because of that now I am blending better with the background. So that is pretty cool. Thanks for watching, my friends, and see you soon. Bye.